What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 13 different altcoins in this video. I won't be saying the list of coins verbally. I'll just leave that in the description below alongside with timestamps. If you guys could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this, that's always greatly appreciated. Thank you all for being here. Let's get started. Let's stop messing around. That's a long enough introduction as it is. 13 coins. It's the 14th of September. We're about 3.5 hours into the new day. It's actually still Friday the 13th for me. So 13 coins on Friday the 13th. Kind of eerie, kind of wicked. Anyways, guys, 78.6 cents right now for Jupiter. That's the first request. Fashion Fabi, however you pronounce it. We're doing this for you. Already, I can obviously tell you're in a consolidation phase, right? This thing's very, very new. It's been around since January. Had one move up, and then it's been consolidating. I think Jupiter's been around before. Has it been that long only, or has it been around before? I was looking around at other charts, and I couldn't find anything with more historical data. But anyways, most of this thing's existence has been consolidation, as has most of the market over the past 5 or 6 months or so, right? So any moment now, we're going to see a breakout. Whether it's to the upside or the downside remains to be seen. I would assume it is going to be to the upside. Whenever that happens, we can expect to see prices from a high point here to a low point here. Expect to see prices between about 247 and 358, potentially higher. These are just primary targets. You absolutely can see your secondary targets and your tertiary targets. What would be quaternary targets afterwards? You're just first, second, thirds, beyond that even. But this is the first area to focus on, 247, 358. You're at 78.6 cents now. If that sounds good to you, you're still below this 236. Really good time to get in. Definitely, absolutely is. Let's look at the short-term stuff before we move on, okay? Looking bullish on the 4-hour, looking like you want to continue upwards. Yes, absolutely, I think so. Relative high to low, moving up to that 61869 around 82.4 to 84.6 cents. It kind of looked like it's kind of funny. It's like an Adam and Eve, and then you've got this big Eve here, and it's like this Adam and Eve itself is an Adam or an Eve. I don't know. It's a fractal, right? It's like patterns within patterns. I don't know if that makes sense, if anybody's seeing what I'm seeing, but all I'm trying to say is it looks very bullish, actually. Looks like a bullish pattern. That was not what I meant to do. Very bullish pattern. To me, it signifies that this area up here is a very important area of resistance. This 886 at 91 cents about, that's going to be important to break. But I don't think you're going to do it now. I think you move up to the 61869 area, find resistance, move down to your 382, move on up from there, probably find resistance here, right? And then move on up. And when you break out of this, it's going to be phenomenal. I don't think you'll stop here. I think you'll go past that. You don't have to go back to your 382 after finding resistance here, which I would expect you find resistance there. You could find support on your 0.5 instead, so just keep that in mind, right? Don't expect that the price will return all the way back down here. It doesn't have to. It's just very normal for that to happen. But for the time being, to keep things relatively simple, expect prices around 82.4 to 84.6 cents. That's what I'm thinking. The 4-hour looks like it wants to continue going up. The daily looks like it has room to go up, but you're probably going to find resistance here with these lower highs. You've got a little bit of room to go up, and you probably find resistance right in this consolidation phase of the RSI. Come down, find support, and then maybe on the next attempt, that's when you break out or something like that. If I'm wrong, then perhaps you just break out now, and you're not going to stop where I say you're going to stop. You're actually going to move up to like $1.04, $1.18 very soon. But time will tell. Anyways, that's that. Looking like it wants to move up, then down, then up overall. Yes, it's probably a good time for the long-term, intermediate-term holders to get in. It's a really good price to average in. No, I don't believe it's going lower. Yes, I do believe it's found its low. Jupiter, XCN for Elijah went up. We're going to talk about this coin here, Onyx coin. Looking at it on the daily, it's got this same kind of pattern that a lot of coins do right now, right, where it's got this one low here, another low, very similar areas, like almost twinning, and then you've got this central low that's a little bit lower than both of them, forming a kind of triangle base. MHAT's calling these diamond patterns, and I think, to me, this one makes a lot of sense as a diamond, actually. It very much does look like a diamond. But whatever they are, some kind of triple bottom diamond pattern, maybe it's a weird inverse head and shoulders, whatever it is, It might not be any of them. It might be a fit for any and all of them. I don't know. But this specific just kind of look with the lows, it's normally very telling. I can't think of a time that it steered me wrong and done this. Normally it's, upside. Though I suppose if it continued to go low, this low wouldn't look like a low, would it? So anyways, looking like it wants to move up. I like the daily RSI. I actually really like the daily RSI. It looks way better than the other one. It has a lot of room to go up. Finding support in the 40 area. What you need to do is get above the 60. This is definitely, to me, it's looking like you want to go up to your overbought zone. And if that's what's happening, we're about to see this thing fly. What's the weekly look like? Because that's the daily RSI. Weekly RSI bouncing off the 40 setup. That's set up for a nice move. Very long term, intermediate term, midterm. I don't know. Consolidation phase here. Looking like you're hugging this area, right? You're not returning to the bottom. You've got your higher low here. You might be breaking out soon. When this thing moves, it likes to move fast. So you guys, we could definitely see new cycle highs by the end of this year. If not, maybe over just like the next couple months. It's hard to say, but it's already going to be a trek, right? From the last time that we moved up, it was at higher prices. I guess it was actually at the same prices we're at now. If we were to have a very similar move to that, we could expect to see prices anywhere from 0.0025 to 0.00445, somewhere anywhere between this area here. Maybe it takes that long. Maybe it moves up in a quicker amount of time. I would expect, because of its history and whenever it breaks this trend line, I would expect it is going to be pretty explosive. I really do believe we'll see this target area by the end of the year. 1 cent could be a realistic target by the end of the year. Previous areas of resistance, kind of a dead cat bounce area, little pause on this, just an intense drop down, man. And I don't think it stops there. I definitely don't think it stops there. It looks good for the short term. It looks good for the long term. Probably a good time to get into it. Man, I might want to buy some XCN. You know what? Elijah went up. This one might be the winner tonight, man. We'll see. But I want to keep that. I want to measure it actually right now. I'll measure it when it comes to the end. If it's obvious, then I won't measure it. But Harold Goodwin. Oh, I've got a request from Harold here as well. Harold, you wanted me to talk about the cycle highs. Now that's hard, right? Because this coin's so new. This is all the data that we have. It only goes back to 2022. It's not even a full bull market. It wasn't even around really in the bull market. Is there a better chart with more history? Not really. And that might be a better high to take actually when measuring. But from a high point here to a low point there, I would take that low. Onyx coin, yeah. Minimum target would be 82 cents. Maximum target would be 556. The market cap is very low, so it does allow for these kind of prices to be realistic and possible. From the current price, why do I keep doing that? Is that the second time I've done that in this video? From this current price, that would be a lot, man. That would be a lot. Am I doing this right? 603x. Sorry, 613x. I don't know why I did the math wrong there. 613x. I don't think that's going to happen, right? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you're going to see a multi-thousand-x. But something at like 82 cents, I mean, maybe to $1.80. What's this thing's market cap at? That would be insane. But yeah, it's absolutely possible. If not, there's other targets we'll go over too that are a little bit more realistic but still insane. Market cap's 41 million, man. 41 times 10 is 400 times 100 is 4 billion times 1,000 is 40 billion. This thing could 1,000x, man. Like, it really could. And don't tell me it can't because it's too late in the cycle. We've seen things do crazy pumps in very short amount of time in the last 3 cycles for crypto. So things can 1,000x overnight, just, well, maybe not overnight, but, Dogecoin last cycle did like a 14x overnight, literally in a 24-hour span. Anyways, beside the point. Yes, I definitely think that these targets are still on the table. As far as how likely they are, I don't know, right? This isn't my biggest bag. I see this thing having a lot of potential to grow, but because of that, I don't personally put a lot of money into it Because if a little bit of money can turn into a lot of money, why risk a lot of money? You know what I mean? Because it could also just as easily flop. If it were to flop, maybe you stop at your 61869. This could be your all-time high for the cycle. Not your all-time high, sorry, your cycle high, right? Just this move up here to your 61869 golden ratio zone, which wouldn't really make sense because there's no really like real price action going on here. But that would result in about a 16 to a 23x from here. Boo-hoo, it's still phenomenal, right? But not as phenomenal as a multi-100x. Maybe you top off at the 0.5 or somewhere around this price area. You don't even see the 618 and you stop at this closing high and you only do a 10x, 10.5x. It's possible. We don't know. But on a more realistic note, right, if we don't see new all-time highs in the 1272, 1414, I would expect that the 786, 886 is where we would go, which would still at a minimum give us like a 40 to a 69, 70x. Let's just call it actually probably like a 72x, right? So there's a bunch of different targets there. I don't know. I'm not confident in any of them, right? I'm not super confident in the high ones. I'm not super confident in the low ones. This thing can do anything. It's a low cap coin. It's gone down a lot. It was just a straight shot down, so there's no real like support or resistance stopping it from going back up. If it goes back up to new all-time highs, there's nothing in its way to do like crazy things, especially because it has the market cap that's available for it to grow. But just because it has the potential to do that doesn't mean you throw the farm into it, doesn't mean you bet the bank on it, right? You take small amounts of money and turn it into large amounts of money. If you risk large amounts of money to turn it into like crazy amounts of money, I don't even know what word to use there, you're more likely than not oftentimes going to get wrecked, right? So just don't do that. I don't know. Don't bet the farm on this one. It is a coin that I hold in my own portfolio personally, but it's not my biggest bag, right? But I am thinking about adding more after doing this analysis. I'm not gonna lie. TAO is the next one for Flower Child. I feel like I'm taking forever on this video, guys. We're not gonna get done until tomorrow. TAO. Is this the best? That's right. I've done this before. It doesn't have a lot of historical data. Doing this kind of triple bottom thing, right? Not as pretty looking as some of the other ones, but definitely bullish with that higher low. I like what you're doing on the daily RSI too. Yeah, you're looking really strong right now. Low to high. 618 tipped it. You're above the 236. Absolutely. I believe you're on your way above this high right now. High to low. 417, 495. You're at 321. That's where you're going. 417, 495. You break above 343, you might find resistance there first, right? You could go to 343. Oops, that's where 343 to 326, and then up 343 down to 300, and then up, something like that. A little bit of a pullback there wouldn't be too crazy. You might just be tearing straight through it, though, man. I mean, you've literally just demolished your 618. You could be on a straight terror up to this $420 to $500 area, more or less, right? So TAO looking good, Flower Child. Toshi, why can't I type Toshi? At the request of The Determined, we'll use CoinX. Poloniex charts are just off, man. They got too low of liquidity. Justin Sun, you need to do something about that, bro. There's got to be a reason he has it, right? It's like the most useless exchange in crypto, but there's got to be a reason for it. No offense. I like Justin Sun. I don't like Poloniex. I like Poloniex. Actually, I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't use it. I like Poloniex because they have a variety of cryptos that they offer. High, and I think that's good to have a lot of variety, right? Higher lows, getting caught off on side trends here. Bullish divergence, moving up. Volume's coming in. I like the way it looks. Toshi. Yeah, we can call that a low maybe. Hard to say because, you know, you're still forming lower highs and lower lows. You haven't formed a higher low yet or a higher high technically. But this does fit, I think, the requirements for a double bottom, right? Some kind of bottoming formation. Maybe even a triple bottom, man. Like, honestly, could be like a 1, 2, 3 kind of. I don't know if that would be a triple bottom because they're three lower lows, but very close together nonetheless. And we're around this area right now. I want to get this back on here. Next target area, finding support on the 069. You're going to be moving up to 3014. You're at 30104 right now. So 3014, about a 40% move probably, right? Is that what that would be? Something like that. 30 to 40% move up. Absolutely, you could continue to move past that. You could go up to your 382, but I would expect you probably find resistance here, right? Move up, consolidate, move up more, something like that. You did find resistance here for a few times here, a few different days. I can't talk right now, man. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right, that's Toshi, looking like it wants to move up. You wanted me to give a cycle high prediction on this one too, the determined. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can, man. This thing's not old enough for that. So, I mean, as far as cycle high goes, I'd just be guessing. It's really not even appropriate. I can tell you where I think your next high is going to be. 0.00212, sorry, 218, 0.00535, right? And likely you do go higher than that. But as far as your all-time high goes, I don't have, there's no appropriate way for me to even estimate that. It would just be a straight guess, right? I could tell you a number right now, and it would be just as good of a process as actually trying to, because there's no historical data. There's nothing to go off of. I don't know. I'm not going to do a video right now, go digging and doing fundamental analysis and try to use my own subjective opinions to determine a price outcome, right? It wouldn't be appropriate. It wouldn't be appropriate, and it would be, whether it was a waste of time in some people's eyes or not a waste of time in other people's eyes, it would take a lot of time, and it wouldn't. I think that it wouldn't be an appropriate thing to do so. No all-time high predictions, no cycle high predictions for a meme coin that hasn't even been around that long. Sorry, I can't do it. Toshi, Brett USD. Like, I like Jesus Coin. I'm going to take a pause here. For those of you that know, I like Jesus Coin, right? I've been invested in that for a little while, over a year now, I think. And I've continued to invest in it. I've guessed where the all-time high could be several times, but that number it's a huge range. And to pinpoint any one specific number wouldn't be appropriate. And that's why I don't do that. The only things that I have been pinpointing, that I have been focusing on since we found our previous all-time high, is where I think the next highs are going to be. Again, same kind of concept as what I did here by taking the current high to the current low. I'm not measuring here because it's like the fake out low. And then measuring here, right? These are the only numbers that I'm confident in for Jesus Coin. And I'm still confident that it's going to go higher. I'm talking about Jesus Coin, and this is Toshi, I know. But just like Toshi, I'm still confident that you'd probably see higher numbers. But to guess where the actual all-time high is going to be, I don't think it's appropriate. If I was to give you a range, it would be a big range, and it wouldn't be helpful at all, right? And that's kind of like the same thing that I've done with Jesus Coin. It's a big range. It either could or it couldn't do a bunch of different things. I'm spending way too much time talking about this stuff, man. Like I said, we're going to be here till tomorrow talking about Brett for the determined as well. Which one is it on? Bybit. I feel like Bybit, right? That's the one that has the best data for Brett. I'm going to measure from this low to this high. Tipping your 618, beautiful both times. I like it. I like this formation. I'm very convinced that's your low. I'm very convinced you are moving up, yes. So when you get above 12.51 cents, it's very, at that point, I think, irrefutable that your low is in. Yeah, right around your 618 as well. So that just makes sense, man, yeah. Looks like you want to go up. Daily RSI looks pretty damn good as well. Showing some strength right now, continue to do so. 4-hour RSI looks like it wants to go higher. Yeah, you're looking good. So where's your next target area? You're at 8.3 cents now. Look for 9.5 cents. You break above. I wouldn't even expect you to find resistance there. You're probably going to go up to about 10 cents, 10 to 12 cents. No, I'm sorry, 10 to 11 cents. And then after that, 12.52 cents. And then after that, man, I mean, really, it could be now, man. You're starting to move that takes you to your new highs. Where are those highs going to be? Because that's what you asked. You wanted me to do all-time highs, but I can't do that again because this chart hasn't been around too long. 27 cents, 41.25 cents, somewhere in that target range. Absolutely, you could go higher. In fact, if we were to do a move like this with Brett, right, where you kind of mimic the first move, copy and paste it, I guess that wouldn't take you higher, would it? But if we copy and pasted it here, obviously higher than that high, but not higher than this zone. That takes you right to your 1618, man. Golden extension. Right? literally put it right there. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. So that might be where you top off, but anywhere, somewhere in this zone, definitely in this zone. That's where I think you're going when it comes time to breaking this. As of right now, look for that 12.5 cent area, and more specifically, I guess 9.5 cents is your first kind of target area, but you're at 8.3 now. That's Brett. We're going to talk about Pepe. Pepe also looking like it wants to move up. I like the daily RSI a lot. Weekly RSI, looking froggy. No, it's chilling. I don't know. It's not ideal looking, but overall it looks very bullish, right? And how couldn't you with a chart like that? Low to high. Come on now. Give me the high. Not a common area to find support, I'm not going to lie. I would expect that you would go to your 382. That's what I would expect. Just because that's what I would expect doesn't mean it happens. I mean, man, you look good right now. What about this relative fib? Maybe it's telling a story. Yeah, 61869 zone. You found resistance there. You should have gone lower there, but you didn't. I don't know, man. If you find resistance at the 0.5, perhaps you do go to the 786, 886 zone, and that would fulfill the need for the 382 being hit on this larger scale, finding support at a previous low. It would make a lot of sense coming in line with these lows down here as well. Pretty much coming in line with them, right? Somewhere between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, 5, 4, 5 zeros, 4, what is that number? 5 zeros, 5, 4, 5 zeros, 4, 6. Somewhere in that range. Could be what you're going to see if you find resistance here at 5 zeros, 8, 2, 3. If you find resistance there. If not, if you keep moving up, that's the first step. That looks good. But really what you need to do is you need to get above this. Until you get above this high, running lower is still a risk. So you want to get above, that's 5 zeros, 9, 8. Just get above the 5 zeros area, get into the land of the 4 zeros. And I think I'm counting that right. If it's not 5 zeros, it's 6 zeros, but let me see. It's 5. It's definitely 5. Daily RSI. Daily RSI is in a downtrend too. Very predominant downtrend. Kind of in an area you would expect to find resistance, right? A little bit of wiggle room to go to the upside, and that makes sense based off of what we're looking at here. That might have been it, man. You could find resistance here. You don't have to find resistance at the 0.5, but you might. 4 hours suggesting you go up a little bit higher. What are you doing on volume? Kraken's probably your best hope, huh? Binance, there we go. Volume's dying off a little bit. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't know. Let's see what this next move up looks like a little bit more, right? If volume doesn't come in, that's how you know it's going down, right? So up a little bit, but probably down. I'm thinking Pepe's going down. I think it does have more to go, which is kind of weird because I wouldn't expect that with most cryptos. But meme coins can kind of chill. They don't have to run with the rest of the market. They can run at opposite time or at different times, right? Because they can kind of just chill and then explode when it really matters. Especially meme coins like Pepe, where everybody's eyes are on it. Pepe all-time highs. Sorry, you keep asking for that, right? Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put it back on this one. My goodness. Another hard one to kind of answer because it's so new. I don't know. I would at least expect that you return to your previous or your current all-time highs, and then beyond that, you'd probably see anything from 4 zeros, 2, 6 to 3 zeros, 1, 1. I would think that those are absolutely possible targets, even probable targets, right? Between here and here. You could even go higher, but that's just like the next area. As far as the cycle high goes, it could be in this area, but it might be higher than that, and I don't feel like it's appropriate with this amount of data to assume, to even try to assume, honestly. That's Pepe. Watt is the last one for the determined here. Nope, not on that. So let's look it up over here. How's Pajamas doing? What are we doing, Pajamas? What are you up to today? Oh ho, you dipped a little bit yesterday, huh? That's what I love about not losing sleep over watching charts, man. Shout out to all the people who lose sleep because of charts, man, because of doing technical analysis, or at least keeping up with the prices and price action and stuff like that. Those are rough days, man. Everybody's there. Whenever you start investing, when you start trading, everybody does that. Going to bed with their phone, looking at it first thing in the day, last thing in the day, waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or get a snack or whatever, and you're checking your phone. You just wake up, feel like checking your phone because you're giddy. Like that goes away. It takes some time though. It depends on the person, but it takes time. If you're gambling, if you're a person of gambling nature, it definitely takes some time. But speaking from personal experience, high to low here. 236 area consolidating, not really showing significance at all in this fib so far. So I don't know if you are going to continue to, or I don't know if it would be appropriate to expect that you would show significance to it, but let's assume you do. Next target area based on what you got here would be the 382 at 40119. All right, something like that, and you could go a little bit above it. It is normally the expectation you go a little bit above it on your first interaction after forming the fib, which this would be, right? Here's your high, here's your low. Since then, none of this has interacted with the 382. First time it interacts, it would likely go above it. And if you consolidate something like that, maybe, and then you can continue. Let's just talk about 4012, probably a little bit above that. I think that's where you're going to go next. Yes, Watt, looking like it wants to go up. All-time highs, I don't know. I don't know the cycle highs, but 30168, 3047, those are your next primary targets when you move up from here. That's Watt. Let's move on. Sun Wukong. Man, Sun Wukong is a Bamf. Shout out to the Raiders out there, or anyone who plays Black Myth or has read a story, what is it, Travel to the West? I don't know. A Tale of the West, I forget what it's called, wherever Sun Wukong originated from. It's a Chinese story, or is a story made by a Chinese guy, I'm pretty sure. I'm just all over the place in this video, you guys. I've had a lot going on. If anyone's noticed my demeanor over the past few days, I've had a lot going on, man. I have not been sleeping a lot. So if I seem tired, I definitely am. Sun Wukong, 0.009, so about a cent right now. Pumped a lot. Died, came back from the dead. So Wukong of you. Let's see. High to low. Not really, I mean, 0.5 rejection, sure, but I'm not getting any respect here. I don't know if I'd expect to find respect. Is there something with more data? I don't care if it has less volume. I just want more historical data. 25 days, that's it, man. That's what you get. Right? Yeah. It's a great coin, man. I'm not saying it's a great coin. I just love Sun Wukong. I might buy it just off of that alone. It'd be my first Sun token, Sun Swap coin. It's not showing any respect. I mean, you literally did tip the 0.5, and I guess you found a support on the 236, but where's your 069? 069. Did I get rid of my 100? I got rid of my 0 level. Oh my god, why is it -3? No, we want 0. There you go. Okay. Maybe it goes a little bit lower. What's the indicator? Let's go relative. This is for Mr. Hat too. I don't know if I said that earlier or not. I might have gotten distracted with the Sun Wukong name. Yeah, the RSI isn't a big help at all. Weak looking, but strong looking too. I have no problem believing this is your low. I'm not completely convinced that you're done moving lower right now though, okay? That's my only thing. I don't have a problem believing this is your low. I'm not completely convinced that this is your low yet. And with the way it's looking, I would expect you probably do this exact thing, what I just drew, right? Between 0.0086, let's just call it 0.0087 to 0.00716. Somewhere in that zone, find support and then move up. If not, man, you're moving a lot lower. Hopefully not. But yeah, everything looks bad. It does look like you want more downside immediately. So that's that. Took a second, but we got to it. Compound. Compound. $44.29. Does that sound familiar, anybody? Have we been here before? It's almost like we haven't left this zone since time began itself. We're talking about this one for Pika. Pika, what's up, my friend? Going over this one for you. And also, Harold Goodwin, you wanted me to talk about cycle highs, all-time highs. You know, I guess we can start with that and then move into the short-term stuff, actually. High to low, not the actual low, but the low of the move itself, high to low, right? 2,400, 8,200, those are the primary targets if you were to expect new all-time highs this cycle. That has not changed, absolutely not. I'm a little bit, and I've never been like completely sold on 8,000. Very excited that was a target, right? And even had more belief for it back here in these times whenever we had so much time left and it was looking like we were going to break out over here, but we didn't, not yet. We don't have that much time left in the cycle. I mean, we do. It's probably anything from 6 months to a year left, probably, right? And that's plenty of time to see some crazy gains, but maybe not enough time to move all the way up to, you know, $8,232. Maybe we don't see that. But $2,400 absolutely, I think, is a doable target. That'd be something of like a 53x for compound, the 1414 area at about $4,000. A lot of cryptos go just above their 1414, so seeing a 100x for compound is still possible. Something between that, like a 50 to something over a 100x, let's just say a 105x, could be doable. And you could see something closer to 180x if you hit that $8,000 level, but I'm not 100% sure that you go there as of now, right? Never been 100% sure, but less likely now, in my opinion, but it can happen. It can happen. Volume's dying off. Volume's dying off. Consolidation is coming to an end. We will break out one way or another someday soon. When will it be? I don't know. I really don't know at all. Weekly RSI, you can see you're definitely in a nice uptrend. It looks very bullish, very established in a bullish kind of way, right? Higher lows, higher highs. You're at the low of the area. Where would you expect to go? Probably up, right? On this next move up, I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm thinking it's going to lead to something that's phenomenal. It's probably going to take us from the all-time high to the low somewhere in an expected area on this fib retracement level. We've already interacted with the 382. We just tipped the 069. I would expect, and the 069 is not a fib, but it's something I've found to be significant, right? And we've shown significance on it a couple times, actually. Coincidence maybe, but there's plenty of videos where I've shown significance on the 069. But anyways, moving up, next target, not the 382 at $100. No, it's at the 618 at 235, 6-9 zone, 304. This zone we've been accumulating for so long, and we just basically straight move down here, right? We might basically just straight move out of here. I would expect, and every time that I talk about breaking out of this zone, I do expect full-heartedly, completely, entirely that it will be faster than the move was down, okay? This move took place, it ended in June of 2022, and it began in May of 2021, so that's about a year, right? It took about a year. I would expect that this, I don't know how much less time, but I would expect that it's quicker nonetheless. Maybe it's half the time, maybe it's just a month quicker, but something quicker nonetheless on the way up. So regardless of what happens, regardless of how high we break out to this initial area, whether it's the 618, whether it's the 886, 786, whether it's beyond that, we've probably got higher to go. And I very much do believe that we're going to see $2,400 and beyond by the end of this cycle. If I'm wrong, and I can be wrong, I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. If I'm wrong, at a minimum, right, with all this consolidation, I just have a hard time seeing that we're only going to be at the 618. So at a minimum, I would expect the 786 to 886 area, which would be anything from a disappointing 9.5x womp womp to 13, about a 13x, a little bit around a 13x, yeah, something like that. Both great gains, right, in a very short amount of time, especially whenever we compare it to like traditional markets. But for crypto, if you're looking for a 5 or how much was that, a 5x, a 9x? A 9.5x. If you're looking for that to a 13x, just put your money in Bitcoin at the beginning of the cycle, right? Or in Ethereum, or something that's that's not got such a low market cap like Compound. You know, with coins like this, you definitely are looking for those higher returns. But even if it flops, I would still expect you're going to see some decent returns. Something that, again, it might be disappointing compared to what you had your eyes set on, but it would still be phenomenal. And again, I'm not expecting this. I do expect new all-time highs. I'm just going over this because, you know, if disappointment happens, just be prepared. It can happen. And even disappointment is going to be rewarding, right? Probably. I don't know. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Compound's going to go to the moon. We all know it is. But AVAX for Pika as well. I spent too much time on that. I spent too much time on all these, man. Oh, my God. But it's okay. We're having fun. Low to high, 618. Beautiful pullback. AVAX Avalanche. I love it. I love it. That's a nice chart, actually, right there. Pulling back to previous areas of resistance as well. Finding support here. I like it. Looking like you want to move up, probably. Weekly RSI, not even getting oversold. Love seeing it. Bullishly diverging, not like it's just crazy. Very, very, very bullish overall since June 2022 on the RSI. I like what you're doing. I really do like what you're doing. Is this a running flat? Anyone who does E-Wave, isn't that what that is right there? It's a running flat. You know, I'm going to do analysis, but for anybody, Pika, I know this is for you, but for anybody that is interested in Avalanche or interested in doing more than what I'm going to do, look up running flat Elliott wave and then see what you can concoct with that, right? Because I think this would technically be a bearish running flat, if I'm not mistaken, technically. But maybe, even though it's bearish, maybe it can flip bullish. I don't know. Enough of that. High to low here, 61869 down to 236. I would expect that when you move up, you're probably not going to stop here again. You're probably going to go at least to $79, $105, right? Something like that. Over the months to come, over the days to come, however, you've got much closer targets in mind. I would assume something around $30 to $34 is what you've got in store over the coming days, over the coming weeks. Avalanche. Looking good. Looking like it wants to move up. Looking good. Turbo for Flower Child. Turbo. Crypto. Nice. Pumping 11.5%. Daily RSI looks great. Phenomenal. It looks like what some of these charts want to do. I don't know. I might be speaking too soon, actually, right? Because you might be breaking out of this. Maybe. I'm not. That's not the straightest line. You might today, or you might just find resistance right here. It looked good at first, but actually you're like right at a place where it would make sense to turn around. What's your volume like? Can we go on Kraken? Decent volume yesterday. Not the best chart for volume, probably. Maybe it is. I don't know. Crypto. We'll just use crypto. Whatever. High to low. If you turn around from here, and I wouldn't be surprised if you do. I wouldn't be surprised if you reached up a little bit higher to this 382 area, to the 123 moving average there on the daily. You could reach up to about 0.0045, 0.00462, something like that, right? A lower high. Find resistance, move back to your 236. Classic when you're in this area of the 382. Classic to find resistance here, move back to your 236 and then move up. So expect that to move down to about 0.00389. If you're looking to buy, if you wait, I think you might get another chance, but that's what I'm thinking. It depends though. If today you can move up and close at this 382 or above it, I would change my mind. I don't think you have to go to the 236. It could still happen. It absolutely could happen because it's so very common for that to happen. But your high to low of this fib range was formed some time ago. You might not follow the same rules, right, as you would expect. And in fact, from a relative range, from a high to a low, I mean, you're right at your 61869. It would make sense to find resistance here. It really would. But if you tore through and went to your 786, that's been a common thing lately as well. I don't know. I guess I would call for a move up to 0.0046 and then a move down to 0.00389. That's my thoughts. End it there, Turbo. Okay. HNT for funsies, also for Flower Child. Daily RSI looking very resilient and strong. Yes, you have bearish divergence forming. Yes, you do. Oh, you're going to break one way or another, right? You're going to break out up or down. It's definitely in some kind of symmetrical triangle. What are you doing? You could go lower from here. But with how this is, if you went lower, like I don't think you do, man. I don't think you do. 4 hour doesn't look the most inviting, but it's very resilient. Like I feel like if you were to drop, you would have done it already. There's been so many opportunities. I don't think you go below this low. If you move down, okay, cool. I could see that. You could move down today, but not below this low. I think you got higher to go. I think you want to go to 955. You're at 772 now, so that's your next target that I would call for. You're not going below that low. I don't think so. I don't think this bearish divergence is. I don't think it's going to work out. If it were true, if this were true bearish divergence, and this were to work out the way that it normally would, you would expect to see a move down to 550. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. No. Your weekly RSI is looking strong, man. I don't know. I think you've got upside. What about this? What about this here? Yeah, bro, you got... We're looking for the moon. We're looking for the sky. HNT. CKB for risk taker. This one here. We'll finish this up. This is the last one. Nervous network. Nice pump. I don't know why it pumped. I have no idea why it pumped. You know? Found support on its 123 moving average on the weekly. Chilled there, and then boom, exploded. That's why it pumped. I don't know. I don't know why. High to low. All the way up. Tipped it. You couldn't make it up if you tried, man. 618. Golden ratio. High, low. Tipped it. Beautiful. Perfect. Literally tipped it. You've got the algos trading this, man. There's definitely trading bots at work here. Pulling back, you're probably going to go to your 382 and then up. I would expect that. Let's see, 4 hour time frame. RSI would call for you to go lower, right? You're at your high points here in your channel. You got your low points here in your channel. You look like you would be going to your lower points here. You tipped your 618. Very common to go. You got a tweezer top. Very common to go to your 382. You could even go to your 236, but I would think you hold your 382 at 1.22 cents. Move down and then up, probably, right? CKB, that's a good look, man. It's a nice move. I like your daily RSI. I really like your daily RSI, but again, it wouldn't be crazy for you to move down from here. Weekly RSI is starting to look tough as well, man. That's a nice move. I want to find this on something that has, Binance, something with volume. Beautiful. That's what you want to see. That's what they call a breakout move, right there. So, risk taker, yes, this looks really good. Why did it pump? It was just its time, man. I don't know. The crypto gods are like, you know what? This one gets its turn. 382, where? Or 618 to where? The 382. Boom. Classic maneuver. But it broke through it. That's a very good look for this to be your low. That's a very good look, especially if you can close the week above here. This would be a good goal to have. You get above that 236, and at that point it's irrefutable, in my opinion, that you're going to new relative highs, which would probably take you from a high to a low around 6.2 cents to 11.75 cents, maybe higher, probably higher. Looking good, CKB. Looking real good. That's all I got to say. You probably find resistance soon, okay? Don't get your feelings hurt. It's okay. Just chill. Chill for a second, right? Like, I don't think you go any higher. Yeah. 1 hour bearish divergence, volume dying off. You're going to pull back a little bit, and that's okay, right? Where are you pulling back to? Where was it that I was saying? 0.01227 maybe? Maybe. What was it? What fib was I using? I can't remember now. All right, well, at any rate, probably find resistance here, move down, and then move up. Where are you going to find support? Between like 1 cent and 1.2 cents is what I would have to say. I don't know. With that, I'm going to end it. Yes, got a little bit confused there. I don't know where that first fib was that I was drawing. I thought it was this, high to low. I thought it went to the 618. Did I draw it wrong? Oh, this is on Binance, where the first one wasn't. Was it? Is that why? That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, it's a different chart. That's why. Okay, I got tripped up on that. At any rate, it would make sense, even at the 0.5, to find resistance as well. Okay, what you're at 1.4 there. Same price there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, probably down to about 1.22 cents to 1 cent, and then continuing up from there. This is absolutely a breakout move. Absolutely, I believe you have more follow through to go. Just a little pause right now. That's my thoughts. Okay, I'm done for real. Completed the thought, got rid of the confusion. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.